player for China is not in their starting lineup. For the United States, Gary Payton and Hakeem Olajuwon starting their first games. And of course, as you might expect, Charles Barkley still with the Phoenix Suns as of right now, starting this game for the Dream Team with Reggie Miller and Grant Hill. Right now, let's send it over to Reggie Theus. Reggie?
All right, Dick, as you heard that thunderous ovation for Charles Barkley, I had a conversation with him about 2 hours ago about his possible trade to the Houston Rockets, but most of all about coming back in this building, possibly being for the last time of being the man of the Phoenix Suns. The big thing is his emotion. He seemed a little bit on the uptight side. He tried to make it a business, but I know Charles very well, and this is a strange thing for Charles Barkley. Dick?
All right, thank you, Reggie. So here is Barkley with kind of maybe mixed emotions tonight.
Yeah, it's mainly, I feel, has he cut the relations or cut the cord from Phoenix? What happens if there is not a trade and you have to come back and play in the city? Naturally, he's looking to possibly New York or Houston, but then again, you still have to be able to trade in return.
Gary Payton misses a three-point attempt, and Charles Barkley is fouled inside. So Barkley not wasting a lot of time, and one thing we have seen from Barkley, when he wants to and he turns it on, watch out.
Yeah, well, you know right there, you're going to see he's going to have a big game tonight. Everything down inside, he'll take strong because he knows that there is a lack of shot blocking ability at the end at the Chinese end. So go strong and try to get 2 or 3.
The officials working tonight's game, both from the NBA, David Jones and Bill Spooner, as Barkley makes the first free throw. It's 2-0 in favor of the Dream Team. Their next game will be Friday in Salt Lake City against the Australian Olympic team. And there you see Payton, the glove, in action.
Well, you're going to see the United States Olympic team press quite a bit during the course of the Olympics.
And now a turnover on the pressure. Grant Hill misses inside. Reggie Miller fights in the corner, but it's turned over to China. So we're going to see the Chinese national team for the first time, and inbounding the ball will be Gong Xiaobin, and they start the game off with a full court press, and a foul is called against Gary Payton.
Well, you're going to see that China naturally does not run into this type of quickness, and then also quickness with size that the USA can put out on the floor. For Lenny Wilkins, it's an excellent way for him to get his team into shape.
So Payton committing the foul. With the ball is Jung Woo, number 5, and the center Shan Tao. He's 7'1", number 14. Here is Jung Woo inside to the big man, and stripped away by Olajuwon. Barkley ahead of the field to Reggie Miller, and it's now 4-0 Dream Team.
For China, this will be an education for them at the defensive end. Anytime that they shoot, they can't crash 5 guys to the board and then leave the backcourt unprotected.
And yet another turnover as Barkley crashes into our table and is fouled.
We have a miniature Niagara Falls here on our stat man, Marty Aronoff. Here comes Charles right into our table, trying to nail our statistician.
And does so in successful fashion. But fortunately, Hubie, you and I stayed dry.
That's right. I love it. Marty only just lost 31 pens of all different colors.
Grant Hill with the jump shot, and the U.S. starting off 6-0 with a full court pressure. And Hubie, when you said at the top of our broadcast that the name of the game for the Dream Team will be defensive intensity, that's what Lenny Wilkins sees, and he's coming out strong from the start.
Well, you can see anytime that you have a dominating guy on your point guard like Payton, it makes it so difficult for, you know, any team, a team even here in the United States in the NBA, where you put together all of this quickness.
Basket and the foul. Here's Payton again inside.
He's going against the captain of the team, and you can see that his quickness, they'll jump over the top of the Chinese here this evening.
4 turnovers already committed by the Chinese team. 9-0 at the start of this game, and Swen Jun, number 7, who is outstanding outside shooter. Most of these players are. But as Hubie mentioned, they got a lot more size than people expected. Swen Jun has it blocked away. Number 7 is Swen Jun. And here is Wu Xinlong, and he hits from outside. He is the oldest player on the team at 31, and he brings a lot of experience to this team.
Yes, and he's a very, very good three-point shooter.
Barkley inside, feeding Hakeem, and it is 11-3. So the three-point basket is all China has to show in the first 2 minutes of this game.
Well, you have to look at this, Dick, and say, first of all, they're very nervous. They're in quite a bit of awe of this team, and you can see it right there, the shot blocking and the quickness.
3-on-1, and Olajuwon with the pass to Hill. The 92 team, which had a lot more experience, had more offensive firepower. This team has to rely more on defense to get their scoring.
Well, you look at the outside guys when you had Magic, your Bird, and you had also Chris Mullin, Clyde Drexler. You really had some key perimeter people.
And a three-point basket by Jung Woo, and he had averaged 51% from three-point range in the World Championship, and that's what this team started with back in '79 when they became a realistic international team. Barkley guarded inside by Jung Woo, and a scoop shot by Payton, and Gary Payton has 5 points for the Dream Team.
Anytime that you play against the United States team and you do not have an inside game, you're in a lot of trouble, because now their quickness on the outside will just take you right out of everything you're doing. The only thing here the United States has to worry about is just jam them and do not give them the uncontested three-point shots.
John Tao, the 7-1 center, has not had a chance to handle the ball very much thus far.
We interrupt this. A 10-point Spurs lead. Barkley picks and rolls and scores. Robinson on Barkley. It's his game to win, or we go to overtime.
Come out to win.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
U.S. leading 54-33 and high above courtside, as the late and great Boston Celtics announcer Johnny Most used to say. Oh, we have Ernie Johnson tonight. Ernie?
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Coming up in just a few minutes, it's the McDonald's halftime report. You know, the doors to the free agent market swing wide open tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. We'll look ahead to that. And also, we will introduce you to the newest member of the Turner Sports family. You may move to the edge of your seats now. Dick and Hubie.
All right, Ernie, and the suspension is killing us. There's Shaquille O'Neal and Shaq and Penny Hardaway, the only Dream Teamers yet to play in this game.
Well, look, anytime you play 20-minute quarters, this half is flying right by. We're inside of 3 minutes. Lenny Wilkins, this is his toughest job. You got 12 All-Stars. How do you find the minutes? Then also shot attempts. What you're trying to do is find combinations. His strategy is try to get to them early and knock them out early. Don't let them hang around.
Slim June hitting a three, and we are looking forward to that announcement coming up at halftime. Seriously, right, new addition to the Turner basketball group as Mitch Richmond drives and is fouled. And let's check in with Reggie Theus.
Dick, I was down at the U.S. bench, and Coach Lenny Wilkins is not concerned, but he's telling the guys that they have to stay together and continue to play through each play, cross underneath, keep the body moving, keep the motion going, and stay on top of them defensively. The biggest problem they have right now is themselves, learning each other, getting things down to a science. Dick?
And as Hubie mentioned, Reggie, it's only been 10 days for Lenny Wilkins, you know, and going on the point that Ernie made about the free agency, Lenny Wilkins told his team, he says, look, I know your representatives will call you. You'll be talking about things. Let them do the work. You focus on this business of playing ball.
I know that's easy to say, Dick, but when you're dealing with the millions that these guys are going to command, who are free agents, it's difficult to concentrate.
No, but I could.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. You and I could. Well,
yeah.
At least I could.
There you go.
You're like those guys. Under 2.5 to play in this first half, and you'll be right. It's a very quick-moving half. And those 8 minutes, that makes a big difference. Karl Malone defending on the side against Gong.
Anytime that you play a 40-minute game, you can see right there the United States shooting 74%, and most of it is coming below the foul line, taking it strong to the basket.
Another turnover, Karl Malone. Stockton to Pippen for an easy one. No, he's going to let Robinson. And that will make the highlight reels, huh?
Well, the people love to see all of that. Naturally, if you're playing on a Chinese team, you're not happy with that. But then again, not one of the players crossed the defensive end of half court. They just allow it to happen.
Here is Jung Woo. Misses, and Robinson the rebound. Scottie Pippen.
Nice.
Back to Robinson.
Oh.
That would have been successive offensive forays by the two players. Karl Malone misses. And finally, coming down with it is Wu Xin Wong. Americans up 23 baskets in his first half and assists on 19 of them. That's teamwork at its best. And a foul has been called.
Now you're going to see the wide open floor, the unselfish play by Pippen. Here comes David sending it home. You say, why is Lenny Wilkins so concerned whether they run out the offenses? What he's trying to do, you keep bringing up the point, they've only been together 10 days. They've been off for 2 months. You want them to get their game legs, because then the perimeter shooting will improve. If you notice, they only have 1 perimeter field goal tonight outside of 17 feet, and it's been missing in the 3 games. But it will get better as they get in better physical shape.
Swen Jun on the line, and as you saw on the graphic, the first time tonight that China has gone to the free throw line, and because Swen Jun was fouled in 3-point territory by Stockton, he got 3 shots and made 2 of them. Here is Stockton, who is bounced by Wu Xinlong, who is the bulkiest. And there was Gary Payton, who has had minor back problems. They've had to stretch a little bit, and that's why he is lying prone on the bench.
Well, they say that Stockton's recovered. Gary still has the spasms. Scottie, we know, has a tendon area in the leg. And but the rest of the guys, they feel, are good enough to play no matter how many minutes. But remember, this is a shortened game from 48 minutes down to 40.
You know, it was great today when we saw the shoot-arounds. It looked like more Chinese players wanted to pose with John Stockton for photos than any other Dream Team.
Well, that's because they were taller than him.
I knew there was a hidden reason.
Yeah, right. No, but let's say, wouldn't you like to be with the #1 guy in the history of assists, over 11,000, 11.6 a game, and also the #1 steal man in the history of the NBA?
9th consecutive assist title broke Bob Cousy's record, set back in the mid and late 50s, early 60s. And a turnover thrown away by Wang Zhuzhe.
Well, he's never seen this kind of half-court trapping. Now, you can see this unit just went to an automatic. It's like a 3-2 half-court trap. And what you have to do is not only find the free people, but then be able to deliver the pass.
Mitch Richmond, who has been doing that all night, driving to the basket, gets rewarded with the hoop and the foul and a chance for a 3-point play. Bring you up to date on the scoring so far in the game. Olajuwon and Hill each with 10. Reggie Miller has 9. And Richmond can make it 7 points if he connects.
This is a player who has not received his due across the country. You're talking about a guy who's been an all-star 4 years. He's been all-NBA second team twice, and all-NBA team third team 1 time. And you would never know it in the national recognition by people who are talking about players in this league.
But you talk to the coaches on the Dream Team, and they'll say his defensive intensity is something that maybe they didn't expect as much. Wang Zhuzhe, the young 7-footer, has his shot deflected. Pippen to Malone. Robinson blocked by Zhuzhe. The young kid came back at 19 and got a piece of it. You talked about his defensive exploits.
Yeah.
And Malone will go to the line. And I'm impressed with that kid's play. Zhuzhe.
Just watching him in practice for 2 days. Now, they've been going in the morning and again at night. They worked so hard this morning. Now just watch as he recovers here. Now you're talking about a young guy, 7'1". He led the Chinese Professional League in shot blocking, 5 a game. In the Junior World Championships, he averaged 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 block shots. Now he's doing that against the best junior teams in the world. He has nothing but an upside, and maybe some team in the United States might be able to entice him to come to their college.
You know, many people may remember and may realize that there's a player on the China team who had performed before, as Malone misses, named Ma Jian, who played in Asian Club Championships. He went to the United States, tried out with UCLA. Rick Majerus had him in Utah for a little bit, and because he did not communicate with the Chinese Basketball Federation, they said, you're not going to be part of us. And so a real fine player not getting a chance to play in the Olympics, to Ma Jian.
Yeah, he played for them in the Goodwill Games over in Russia.
Jung with the shot, and the buzzer sounds, and that is the end of the first half. The Dream Team leading all the way, 62-38. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Ernie Johnson and Cheryl Miller upstairs when we return to Phoenix.
It's been hard for them to go 110% at this moment. Dick?
All right, Reggie, and Shaquille O'Neal making his first appearance in the game, jumping center, and it's controlled by China. And turned it over into the hands of Mitch Richmond. As we start the second half, Charles Barkley gets the basket. The feeling in the China basketball world is if the team loses by 20 points, they would consider that a moral win. 30 points, well, not so good, but 40 points, I think, like what they did with Brazil, would really cause consternation over there.
Well, right, it's a very, very important 5 minutes for them that they get something going here, Dick. And they're playing 2 7-footers in there now.
Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, who didn't see action in the first half, start the second half for the Dream Team. And there is Wang Zhizhe, who hits the jumper, again showing the touch. The big men do have a touch on this China
That was
team.
a nice penetration by Swen and a beautiful pass in traffic.
Richmond misses from outside, and it's tipped in by Charles Barkley, who has 6 points. So Barkley starting the second half, along with Grant Hill, Mitch Richmond, Penny Hardaway, and Shaquille O'Neal.
Nice, nice.
And Barkley ties him up. Barkley, maybe 6'6", maybe a little less, but he timed his jump perfectly, and a jump ball with Wang Zhizhe.
Now you're being very charitable. Now just watch here as O'Neal goes for the block, Barkley goes up, and then he gets a piece. At 6'4½", Charles does his job.
Bater from the corner for China.
Now they have the 2 7-footers in there with their best 3 3-point shooters on the perimeter.
Driving the baseline and a foul. And Bater does not agree with that foul as he is called with it. And Barkley went baseline.
Now this is just a beautiful play. You're going to see the defense recover and then the kick back out, and the big fella at 19 years of age, just turned 19 2 days ago.
U.S. has led all the way, going up by 18 with 7 minutes to go in the half. Then China's 3-point shooting that you talked about cut the lead to 10. But the U.S. finished on a 19-5 run for their lead. 24 points, that's what it is right now. Barkley shooting over the young 7-footer, hits the jumper. Charles Barkley may be playing his last game in America West Arena as a member of the Phoenix Suns. All sorts of reports that he's going to be traded to Houston, that he apparently wants out. Now has 8 points. Swen misses the shot. Grant Hill leaves it for Hardaway. No look to Hill. Pretty play by the Dream Team.
That was a beautiful give and go. Very unselfish move by Penny.
Hill is 6 of 7 from the field. Grant Hill with 12 points in the game. Really getting into the flow in this Dream Team activity in their third game. No look pass again. We've seen a lot of it, but intercepting in front of Shaq was Bater.
Bater has done a nice job, Dick. He's really held his zone on the boards and in the lane.
Hu Wei-dong. This is a 3. Wei-dong had 8 points in the first half. Shaquille O'Neal is fouled. By the way, the leading scorers in the first half.
Now he got hit that time, except he traveled also. He got a break. Now just keep an eye on this fast break. Now as you get the kickoff right here, watch how Penny returns the pass. Beautiful give and go.
And free throw by O'Neal is good. Lenny Wilkins telling us yesterday at lunch that practice is over, and there is Shaquille O'Neal working on his free throw shooting. Very impressed with that.
And Shaq during his career is 57% in 4 years in the NBA. He was 53% at LSU. He puts in an hour and a half every night during the playoffs on the off games at home with the shooting. It isn't because of lack of effort. He really works at his game. Unfortunately, that's right. Unfortunately, ball is not dropping for him.
On the turnover, Dream Team again has it. Mitch Richmond.
Little zone here now.
A little more than 3 minutes gone by here in the second half, and a careless play. Hardaway trying to get it to Barkley. A little bit too much mustard on that pass.
To me, it's interesting, Dick, that we have not seen China play zone. Whether they play a 1-2-2, whether they play a 2-3, but at least give the U.S. a different look.
That was Hardaway from Mitch Richmond on a quick pass back by the Sacramento King. As you mentioned, certainly making a name for himself, and the Kings did. They played Seattle very tough in that first round of the playoffs this year. Wang Wang Zhuzhe against Shaquille O'Neal. Undeterred and finally fouled. Look how thin he is against Shaq, and he was not afraid to go in there. 100-pound difference.
Well, you're only talking 220 pounds. Shaq is 330. And you can see right here, he's trying to do an up and under move. Shaq only fouled him 4 times, that's all. But at least the young guy continued to do his moves by the book, all right?
Yeah, he is fearless. 19-year-old fearless player. The Washington Huskies, Georgetown, Marquette, and Clemson are 4 schools who have shown interest in Wang Zhuzhe.
Are you one of these recruiting?
Oh, you know who I recruit for if I
newspapers?
could, but I don't want to say. Pass inside, intended for O'Neal, and Barkley gets hit as he's fouled, and he'll go to the line. Charles Barkley mixing it up inside under the hoop.
You know, you look at Charles in this past year, he's accomplished so much. He's been on the All-NBA team, first, second, or third team in 11 of his 12 years in the league. But the key stat for Charles this year, 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. Only 10 guys in the history of this league have been able to do that. Now, that's impressive.
Yes, it is. And 5 assists in this game, and it was Charles who told Cheryl Miller after Game 1, after the slim 96-90 win over the select team, he says, we're not trying to kill these guys. We'll do that to a foreign country. So the chances are slim that Charles will be a diplomat when his playing days are over.
Yeah, but you got to give the under-22 team a lot of credit. They played great basketball. They shot the ball well on the perimeter, and Brevin Knight was just outstanding breaking down the defense.
Batur trying to work it inside to Zhuzhe. Quick hands. And here is Batur from the baseline. And Zhuzhe tips it in.
Now, I like this lineup for China. These 2 7-foot guys are very active. And then these 3 perimeter guys can make the shots. Oh! This is a nice lineup for China.
And they got their best player, Wu Wei Dong. That foul is the 4th on Wang.
Now you're going to see now watch the big fella coming right inside there. You can see he has beautiful hand control, and he's a very good foul shooter.
Wang, though, commits his 4th foul, and Mitch Richmond misses the first free throw, or Penny Hardaway, that is. And Hardaway 1 out of 2. So Penny Hardaway, who started and played 18 minutes against Brazil, not seeing any action until the second half of this one.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The Chinese national team paid a visit recently to the Nike campus near Portland. Nike is China's marketing representative, but on the court, they were China's competition. And of course, many foreign teams are getting ready for the Atlanta Olympics, training in the United States. And here they are. We've already seen Croatia and Lithuania.
Well, Dick, the Chinese team played 2 games against Nike All-Stars. They're playing the USA Olympic team tonight. They're going to LA to play Magic Johnson's All-Star team, and then also a Los Angeles Lakers free agent team. So they're playing their 5 games.
Steal by Penny Hardaway, and he stuffs it through.
See, it's almost unfair when the United States put the 3 quick guys out there, and then everyone is 6'6" and interchangeable, and then you anchor them with Barkley up front with the foot quickness, and then you have O'Neal in the back for a shot blocker.
Here is the backdoor play, and Zhang going to the basket is fouled. And by the way, China's going to be playing in the LA Summer League starting next week. That'll be a great experience for them.
Nice block by Charles. Charles is doing an awful lot of little things here this evening. Not only the block shots, he's doing a good job in the assist category with 5, and he's making a lot of things happen.
You know, he told Reggie Theus at the top that he wasn't really emotional about playing what could be his last game on this floor as a member of the Suns, even though he's playing on the Dream Team. I'm not so sure that deep down inside, in that long well, after all the years he played with the Suns, that there is a feeling here.
Well, look, they did get to the finals with Charles, and unfortunately they came up short. He's had an incredible career here. The building is filled not only because of Charles, but also because of the other talented players here. But he has a real feeling. I think what everything comes down to is you want to be appreciated at this time, and do they rip up your contract, or do they move you, and then hopefully someone else will rip up your contract.
Shaquille O'Neal with a turnaround and a rebound by Batur. But there's no question that Charles Barkley has been outspoken in his feeling that the welcome mat is gone here in Phoenix.
Well, I don't think he liked the fact that they were shopping him around and it got into the newspapers, and then he was saying, well, how come I can only bring that few amount of players of that type of notoriety?
Barkley did a great job on the 7-footer Batur there. Here's Charles going strong.
Oh, yes.
And a standing ovation from much of the crowd here at America West Arena. And what could be a farewell of sorts for Charles Barkley, who now has 11 points. Dream team up 79-48 there. Biggest lead matched at 31 points.
Now you're going to see it here right now. See, Charles is playing him with a lot of enthusiasm. Now he's giving away 8 inches right there with Pater.
And he's defending against him again and knocks the ball away. And it'll still be China's ball, but Barkley very nearly forced a turnover.
Lenny Wilkins made a good point. If a player's on a roll, he'll allow him to stay in the game. Otherwise, he's going to try to stay with his rotations. A different starting unit at halftime over the starting unit that opened up with the opening tap.
Hardaway, no-look pass, and Mitch Richmond on the layup. And you're right, this is not an all-star game. People should be aware of that. This is an Olympic team, and if you're on a roll, you're going to play. Wei Dong into Batur. And the 21-year-old Batur. 2 young 7-footers. And here's Grant Hill as he beats Sejong Woo to the basket. Grant Hill now with 14 points. He's the high scorer tonight as the U.S. 35-4. Resounding edge on the fast break.
Well, let's see, this is a good education for China. They continue to play up-tempo. They're shooting a little bit too quick. When you shoot too quick and you don't make your shots, then what you're doing is playing to the United States quickness, and they're getting hammered. Nice pass.
Shaquille O'Neal. And they're putting on a show now. 85-48 with just under 13 minutes remaining in the second half. 27 assists by the U.S. team.
Dick, you only get 2 timeouts a half to feed the basketball. And we all know right now they need a timeout before their confidence is totally shattered. All right? And you want them to regroup right now. Talk to them about shooting too quick and trying to stop turning the basketball over.
Here is O'Neal. Shaq trying to take it the distance. This was last time down.
Now this is just a great pass right here to shovel off to the big fella with a thunder dunk. Well, it's fun time here.
And a timeout has been called by China, so as good coaches do, they think alike. And China's calling a timeout to get themselves together. Big lead for the U.S. For the United States, leading by 37 points. Scottie Pippen has come into the game. He scored 5 points in the first half. Pass into Olajuwon from Scottie Pippen, or that is O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal, and O'Neal now with 5 points, but he certainly, along with Barkley, has gotten a rise out of the crowd in the second half. 60-10, the U.S. dominating China in the paint. China's had to rely on the 3-point shot. They've been pretty successful, at least early in the first half with that. Wang Zhuzhe, youngster double team. Out now to Zhong Woo. And a 3-point shot. Barkley quickly out to Penny.
United States team has done a terrific job shutting down the 3-point shooting. At halftime, China was 8 for 13. This half, they have not been able to make a 3.
Shaq got the basket, and Penny Hardaway committing the foul for the United States. Let's send it over to Reggie Theus right now.
Dick, if you notice, the U.S. team is still keeping their intensity level up. That's because Lenny Wilkins keeps preaching to play the game, not the score. He also has been telling them to keep going to the basket every time China shoots because you can knock it off the rim. It's not like NBA rules. Dick?
All right, Reggie, thank you very much. Well, I think the wake-up call came against the select team when they fell down by 17 in the first half. They said, we don't want to see even a scare like this. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. Let's go all out. That's the only way you can get ready for the Olympics.
Anytime you only play 20-minute halves,
right?
It's a shorter game. You cannot allow the team to get out on a roll and get confidence and then milk the clock and slow the game down. That would be the worst thing. I like Lenny's strategy. Get out, press early, and get on him. And the big, hey, this big kid, I'm telling you, he can shoot inside, make foul shots. He just took a shot close to the three.
I named 4 schools. Maybe there are 24 more
That's right.
that are watching this and are interested in Wangzhou to play college basketball in the United States. That basket by Penny Hardaway, who has 7. Mitch Richmond has 11. Remember, he had 21 to lead the Dream Teamers against Brazil on Sunday. And Hu Wei Dong is fouled in 3-point territory by Charles Barkley, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Now, Hu Wei Dong came in off the bench in that first half. Their best player. He played limited amount of minutes. 11 minutes for him is a low amount, but he came in with 8 points. And I'm just interested, he's not been able to really get it going here. Now you can see Charles pushing people around. You know, he's just manhandling everybody. And let's face it, they're getting away. USA's getting away with a lot of physical contact here.
Hu Wei Dong driving to the hoop, knocked away. Karl Malone and Reggie Miller have checked in as Scottie Pippen, changing hands, gets the layup on the fast break, and it's 96-52 in favor of the USA. So it's Scottie Pippen, Penny Hardaway, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, and Shaquille O'Neal on defense for the Dream Team right now. Winding down to 10 minutes remaining, halfway through this second half, and Swen Ju from the corner. Little pinball action. No look, and Shaq gets another easy one. He's got 9. David Robinson enjoying the game from the bench, and it's very possible that Robinson will be in the starting lineup Friday against Australia from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, well, then he allows everyone a chance to play. And by each game, everyone will have a chance to start the game or start the second half.
Malone, and you know he'll start the game Friday along with John Stockton, gives the U.S. a 100-52 lead, and that is their largest big margin of the game, 48 points. So remember, they beat Brazil by 41. So this isn't what China had wanted. They knew they weren't going to win the game, but it's out of hand right now, score-wise. On the turnover, Pippen has Penny, and gives it back off the glass to Scottie Pippen.
You know what you're seeing right now, you have to remember the 92 team, Dream Team 1. They had a differential of 43.5 points. They scored 75% of their points in transition. Exactly what you're seeing here this evening. The key thing is forcing the turnovers, the steals, getting out in the open floor.
50-point lead for the U.S. as O'Neal blocks Wang, and it'll still be China's ball. The U.S. shooting 72% from the field, and most of those baskets inside as Wu Xinlong, number 10, and Gong Xiaobin, number 15, check into the game. As Bater, who has played well, 7-footer. We've seen 3 of them tonight for China, and Zhongwu Li. Missing outside is Wang Zhuzhe. Pass off the hands of O'Neal. Turns it over.
See, if I was going to critique the China team, I would take them aside, and you can see the scoring by the halves. Now, what's missing in the second half? Well, they can't make a 3-point shot. In the first half, you make 8. Well, now all of a sudden you can't. Well, if you don't have an inside game, how else can you score against this type of talent? But you can see where they would not be intimidated by any team from FIBA. You can see right now, they move the ball. They have some nice plays. They'd be able to get inside scoring against the other FIBA teams, which is not existent here this evening. But I would take them aside and say, look, don't shoot the ball so quickly. You have 30 seconds. you know, milk the clock a little bit. Make the United States play a longer period of time on defense, and you'll still get a good shot.
See, the Dream Team's in a class of their own, but remember, this team was 8 out of 16 in the World Championships, and all they have to do is do well against the rest in their finish, so you can't judge them against the USA.
Well, the other thing is they're not going to play against this type of athletic quickness or jumping ability, which leads to shot blocking. Those 3 key elements are not going to be there when they play the other teams in the Olympics.
Although the U.S. and China are in the same Pool A when the Olympics do get underway. Penny Hardaway leaves the game. Gary Payton is back in there, so now it's Gary Payton and Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Shaquille O'Neal, the center, with Karl Malone and Scottie Pippen on the free throw line, who makes 1 out of 2. And a timeout with 7:53 to go in the game. 103-52, the U.S. big.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The other side of USA basketball is the women's team.
USA, 1, 2, 3. USA!
They're undefeated in exhibition play at 51-0, led by stars Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops.
I feel like we are just as good as the men are. And a lot of people either don't realize that or don't understand that. And I think this is going to be the perfect opportunity to show them.
And what a classy team that is, the U.S. women's team. This is their pre-Olympic schedule. They go against Italy at Indianapolis and training in Orlando, and then they arrive in Atlanta July 17th. President Clinton is going to pay them a visit. I think that's a great thing.
Well, I think this is a great accomplishment. They're 51-0. They were 26-0 against 8 of the 11 teams that will be in the Olympics. They did not play Brazil. Now, Brazil is the defending world champion. But 4 of the ladies, meaning Leslie, Bolton, Swoops, and McLean, all averaged over 12 points a game. Very well-rounded team there. A lot of talent.
Lead pass to Scottie Pippen. And China, by the way, the Chinese women team are a formidable group.
Yes, they are. They have a 6'8" player who is a very dominant player.
Wang Zhezhe continuing to impress everyone in a losing cause for China with 10 points, showing the ability to go in against the stronger and bigger Shaq, to hit from outside and have touch. Remember, just 19 the last couple of days. One to watch. Gary Payton with a jump shot. Payton now with 7 points. He started the game at point guard.
I'd like to get back to the women's team, Dick. You have to admire the ladies because they all are playing for $50,000 salary. Now, 10 of those ladies play overseas in either Japan, Italy, what have you, and they all make over $200,000. So they have made a major sacrifice to stay here and play with this United States for a 12-month period of time.
Hu Dong feeding inside. Tip and missed. Wang Zhezhe, Karl Malone, 2-on-1. Miller has Pippen. And Reggie Miller gets the basket. So Reggie Miller, who shot nearly 53% from downtown as a member of Dream Team 2 in the World Championships in '94. U.S. still over 70% shooting overall in the game. 6:10 remaining in the second half, 107-54. 53-point lead for the Dream Team after beating Brazil by 41 on Sunday in Cleveland. And the turnaround by Gong Xiaobin.
He has been a disappointment tonight. And as you know, Dick, he has not practiced well the last 2 days. The coach has really been on his face. And unfortunately, right now, he is backing it up with a bad performance in this game. Now this is quickness right here. You can see he goes right back up again, the young fella, and sends it down and he gets poked right in the right eye.
If he gave up 100 pounds to Shaquille O'Neal and charged him anyway, that hitting him in the eye is not going to bother him one bit.
I'd say they get him on a weight program and bulk him up a little. He has great quickness, and you can see the touches there.
Hu Dong.
He's been shooting too quick all night.
China has missed its last 8 3-point baskets after starting 8 for 12 in the game. And right now, here's a look at tonight's AT&T game storyline. U.S. 72% on transition hoops. Grant Hill, the leading scorer, with 14. Huge rebounding advantage, and of course the turnovers have really killed China.
I think we brought all those points up at the top of this program.
Yes, exactly. This is why you're here. David Robinson in the game, but Reggie Miller hits a 3 from Miller. That is his second from downtown. So Miller and Grant Hill both tied for the scoring lead with 14 points. 6 in double figures tonight for the American team. Here is Wu Xi-Long, and another turnover. Payton. Oh, Scottie Pippen.
Yes. Oh, was that quick?
You know, impressing. Clem Haskins, one of the assistant coaches. And he says, you know, I'm now getting a chance to see what Scottie Pippen could do. Easily the best all-around player. There's Clem, Western Kentucky.
Oh, Clem played in the NBA for a long time, doing a great job at the University of Minnesota.
And doing a great job on this team along with Bobby Cremins of Georgia Tech. A very fine staff. There's Clem Haskins and Lenny Wilkins. Of course, Jerry Sloan of the Utah Jazz will be going back home for Friday night's game at 8 on TNT. And Bobby Cremins of the Yellow Jackets on the left. Green team with 38 assists. And a basket scored by Lee Nan.
The most impressive thing tonight is the defensive intensity for this long of a period of time in a rout. And then the second thing, the unselfishness, the assist stick backing up the field goals.
Tipped up and in by David Robinson. I was fortunate to be on a tour with a U.S. college team with Kiki Vandeweghe and Bill Hanslick and Kyle Macy back in 1979. And that American college team lost 2 of 5 games to a Chinese team when they had a big 7'6" in center named Wu Tietju.
Now, this is a country with 1.2 billion people. The #1 sport, soccer. #2, and coming on strong, basketball.
It's back, better than ever. And now you can get the original.
Sunday has 11 tonight and a terrific behind-the-scenes story on Mitch. Let's go into the crowd to Reggie Theus.
Yes, I'm in the crowd way up in the top of the arena, and I'm here with 40 kids from Sacramento flown in by Mitch Richmond as a part of an outreach program that he's involved with in Sacramento. And these guys, this is Cleo right here, and this is Desmond. And Desmond said that he has tried to play Mitch Richmond one-on-one basketball. Did he comply?
Yes, he told me we got the game set up, but he kind of busy right now. We've been trying to set it up since me and him had a banquet, the 2-on-2 against me and my partner Boo and him and Thais Etney. And we're going to get it down, you know what I'm saying? The better team going to win, you know?
All right. And over here is Cleo. And Cleo, you guys are going to Planet Hollywood tonight, and also you have a trip for tomorrow, too.
Yeah, we're going to the Grand Canyon. It's only begun. It's not over yet. So we're just going to have fun until, you know, it's over.
And, you know, Mitch Richmond, guys, has made a name for himself out of Sacramento, all over the world, and he's putting back into the community. That's what kind of guy Mitch Richmond is, guys. Back to you.
All right, Reggie, and a great infectious smile by Mitch as well. And you love the girl. She doesn't want to talk about tomorrow. She's still enjoying the night.
Absolutely.
Let's not rush this trip.
That's correct.
That's great thing that Mitch Richmond is doing and picking up the tab for these.
Yeah, we're not talking 4 people. We're talking 40 children from the Sacramento area, 12 years of age to 18.
Hakeem Olajuwon has come back in the game, and it'll still be USA ball with 2:36 showing on the clock. Penny Hardaway will replace Scottie Pippen, who leaves with 12 points. Hakeem Olajuwon has 10. Payton with a drive. Robinson and Olajuwon in the lineup at the same time. So we're seeing 2. And Lenny Wilkins said maybe I'll play all 3 centers sometime together.
Well, and if he played 3 big guys tonight, China was ready. They were going with their 3 big guys. And I like to see that they finally played the 2-3 zone. You're hoping that they could have done that a longer period of time, give the United States some work.
Working inside is Gong. 7 on the shot clock. Missing from 3-point range is Lee Nan. Lean on, number 12. And off the rim, the rebound taken down by David Robinson. Crowd yelling, "We want Chuck." They want Charles. Hardaway fouled, and Penny will go to the line with 1:18 remaining. Big performance tonight by the Dream Team, and they will continue their tour Friday night at Salt Lake City at the Delta Center when the Australian national team takes on the Dream Teamers at 8 Eastern. That's Friday night right here on TNT. Charles Barkley coming back in and a standing ovation. You can't tell me this doesn't have a meaning for Sir Charles.
It's a beautiful tribute. The people wanted it. During that, while you were making the announcement, they were standing, chanting, and I'm glad to see Lenny put him in, and Charles responded. He deserves it. It's beautiful.
117-58, winding down to a minute to go. They'll always love Charles Barkley here in Phoenix, I guess, unless he comes in with the Houston Rockets, if that happens to be the team he plays with. Under a minute to go. Crowd chanting Barkley, and Swen Jun is tripped as he drives the baseline. And as part of Visa's continuing efforts to support amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $10,000 to the U.S. Olympic team in the name of Charles Barkley. And those were his numbers tonight. A terrific all-round game, versatile as Charles Barkley is, in order to help further the development of U.S. Olympians present and future. Here is the alley-oop. Hardaway, too far under, but David Robinson converts. .61 lead.
I like what Lenny Wilkins had to tell you this yesterday, Dick, and that being he likes this team. They're a fun group, very coachable. They respond to what the coaching staff is doing, and they're trying to blend, and they're trying to keep the selfishness out of this team.
And he seems to be succeeding because there is a tremendous amount of respect from every one of those players for Lenny Wilkins and the way he has handled himself throughout his playing and coaching career in the NBA.
Amen to that.
Time runs out, and the Dream Team wins going away. They took a 24-point lead at the half and won by 119-58, 61 points. But the story here tonight, Charles Barkley, who very possibly has played his last game at America West Arena as a member of the Phoenix Suns. As the two teams commiserate, 7 Dream Teamers in double figures, 5 with 5 or more assists. And the Dream Team now 3-0, and they continue to raise their margin of victory in each game.